IFs in India was something that was key to us in terms of policy making. There is an ecosystem in India which already is progressive, way ahead in terms of ecosystem, and is taking a very customized approach to how private equity, VC, and AIFs have to be treated. That's the IFSC Gift City for us. From IFSCA, we have Executive Director, Mr. Praveen Trivedi, join us today for a fireside chat. So I would like to call upon stage Mr. Tushar, Sachade, partner PwC India, to come on stage, and Mr. Praveen Trivedi, Executive Director, IFSCA. A big round of applause to them. Thank you so much, sir.
Hello.
Yeah, over to you, Tushar. Thank you.
Thank you, Rohan. And I must say that setting up of IFSC, right, it's a hot topic in current times. And it's all started with the Prime Minister's vision, right, to create India as a global hub for fund management in particular and financial services in general. And the thought process was that while India is an importer of financial services, why should there be an intermediate jurisdiction which should benefit out of this whole growth? While the capital is coming from jurisdiction like, say, US, Europe, Japan, while the importer of capital is India, there are intermediate financial services centers who are benefiting, and which is where the thought process of creating India's own financial services center come into existence. So maybe, sir, let me start with a question in terms of what has been the journey so far, and how do you think that vision has panned? Because this has been going on for a while, but the authority was set up in April of 21 and took power in September of 21. But the thought process has gone back then with the Prime Minister actually setting up the IFSC almost like more than 5 years back.
Hello. Yeah. So good afternoon to all of you, and thank you very much for the organizers for having me invited here. I'm very happy for this, and thank you to all the organizers for this beautiful event, and which is very well attended, I can see. So, well, as Tushar, you have said that this idea has started, of IFSC has started around 2015, when this, first of all, before that, there was a gift city which was declared in this area when this present Prime Minister of India was the Chief Minister of the state of Gujarat. Subsequently, it was in the same, that SEJ, the concept of IFSC, International Financial Services Center, was developed, and this SEJ was declared as an International Financial Services Center. The whole idea was twofold, as you have rightly covered. That first is that it was observed by the government of India that so many entities, Indian entities, are going and availing the financial services from outside India. So one idea was, why can't we have a system or an ecosystem within India where we can give them the same facilities, same ecosystem, whereby we can attract them to not to go out, but to get the same facilities, same ecosystem within India. That is one. And secondly, why can't we have a system within India where we can attract the outside world? So the idea was twofold. So even if this IFSCA, which you said that IFSCA Act was passed in 2019 December, 20, yeah. And then April 20, it was notified. October 2022, IFSCA was given all the powers under the Act, and we have started our journey actually from this October 2022. And as you all know, that was the COVID era. So beginning was a little bit difficult, but from day one we have taken the started our journey with full throttle, and you being in touch with IFSCA in so many other occasions also, and you were the part of that fund committee also, so you would vouch for that, what IFSCA could achieve in last 2 years is very, it is not that easily available in the parallel jurisdictions or any other part of the world. I would just like to say, as far as fund is concerned, within the period of 2 years, I would say, as of now, we are having around 59 fund management entities, 41 funds. The business commitment is already $11 billion. So I see for the fund activities specifically, a lot of opportunities in this, and what has been the focus? I will give you the background and idea of establishing this IFSC and IFSCA. So as I said, even the Act says, for every act there is a statement and object and reason why this act is being passed. So that says to bring back the money which is going out of India, that is one. So to onshore the offshore financial activities. Whatever is going offshore, we will bring back, we will create that ecosystem here. So we have done a very elaborate studies. We have formed so many committees internally also. We have taken best minds from all the 4 regulators and the markets also. As you would, I think you know, my background is I was with SEBI for 20 years, more than 20 years, 22 years to be precise. I was with SEBI. Then I was with the Ministry of Finance. There I worked on the IBC. And then I went to PFRD, a Pension Sector Regulator of India. And I was ED there. Then this 4-in-1 regulator was being established. This was getting the powers of RBI, of SEBI, of IRDAI, of PFRDA. So this was going to be all-in-one regulator of the capital market, banking, insurance, and pension fund. So I found that this is very challenging. So many of my other colleagues from SEBI had joined, from banking sector, good minds we have taken, from private sector also, very good minds, and the fund sector, fund activities we have taken people. So from day one, even the present chairman, our chairman is also is so dynamic and so hardworking that he keeps on pushing us. The whole idea is to create an ecosystem which is at par with best in the world, if not better than them. So that has been the main idea, main thought process behind that. And we have come out with this earlier, you know, initially when this all 4-in-1 regulator, this IFSC was established without there being a regulator. So for fund activities or capital market activities, SEBI has come out with the guidelines, which was little bit a lighter version of their present regulations, whatever the fund regulations are there. Similarly, RBI has come out with its own guidelines, which were lighter version, because the idea was to have a ease of doing business here. So they came out, but subsequently it was realized it is practically not possible, because we are working, every regulator is working, having a different wavelength. So there has to be one person, one entity who should think across the verticals and come out with the uniform sort of mindset, and all the regulation and regulatory framework should be uniform. So when this IFSCA came, we have studied not only SEBI's regulations, we have studied Singapore, we have studied UK, USA, other jurisdictions also, and we have taken the best out of them. And we have tried to create our ecosystem, which is, as I said, at least at par, if not better than that. And more, over and above that, this being the specialized, and one more thing, with this IFSC, this is a non-resident zone, as per the Banking Regulation Act. So, the strict laws of rupee convertibility, currency convertibility, which is not available in India, that is there. So the only restriction is that no rupee business will take place in IFSC. Any business has to take place, should be in the foreign currency. So we are liberalizing the regulatory framework while maintaining the basic tenets of the regulation and regulatory powers with us. So idea has been this, and I think we are quite successful.
Thank you, sir, and thank you for sharing. And I must say, so regulator took power in October 2020 and done a significant amount of work. And of course has rewritten and almost all regulations, whether it is on the banking front or on the asset management front. And it's rightly said that you came out with this new framework of fund management entity being regulated, similar to what is happening in places like, say, Singapore, where instead of fund being regulated, you have a fund manager being regulated.
Yes.
Sir, just to give little more insight to the audience. So one of the concept, and I'm not sure everybody is aware about this, is a whole concept of fund lab, which was introduced as a part of fund management regulation. So I just wanted you to kind of talk about that in terms of how is that fund lab working as a sandbox regulations, and what is happening in that, and what is that you will tell audience in terms of taking the advantage of the fund lab, so that people can come out with new ideas and innovative ideas to kind of implement that new fund structures and new ideas in this sort of product.
Yeah, one is the traditional fund activities. So while drafting these regulations, we came across and we thought that this being the specialized zone where we can do some testing which we cannot do in domestic India, and keeping in mind that while domestic India we may have some concerns or rather some restrictions, but here considering the ecosystem, considering the entities which are going to come here, we can take some liberalized approach and let them, whosoever is willing, we will give them a opportunity that if they want to take risk, where they want to do some testing like a startup. So rather we feel as a regulator, we feel we are a startup regulator. So here, because the whole idea is to give a ease of doing business, give that environment. And one more thing I wanted to cover, like unlike, as again, my background is from SEBI, so I could refer that SEBI has three main objectives, that is investor protection, development, and regulation of the securities market. Unlike that, I'm not saying investor protection is not the objective, but the fact of the matter is that right now we are in the development phase. So our whole objective or the main focus is on the development. And we know why I'm saying that, because we know whosoever is coming to IFSC jurisdiction is a high net worth individual or accredited investor. He knows that what he is doing. Unlike the investor who are retail investor in India, though retail investor also we are going to allow, we have already allowed in the banking. Tomorrow we have enabled in the fund regulation also. There could be we can allow the retail investor in the private funds also. We have enabled that. Subject anybody is willing, and then those investors want to invest in we want to give them also opportunity. But main thought process has been that here the type of investors would be little bit literate investors. They know what they are doing with their money, and if they are having the risk appetite, then only they will come. So that gives us a lot of space to experiment. So this fund, as you said, fund lab, it is like as you said, sandbox. Within the protected environment, we will give you a opportunity if you want to do some testing about this product, any particular product, and you get some people who are ready to participate in that project, you can test it. And going forward, if that is successful, we will open it and we will allow you to come in the mainstream.
Thank you, sir, for saying. I think one other aspect, and of course, and you did touch upon you being in SEBI and how IFSCA being a unified and a global regulator, the whole thought process is very different in terms of how you want to regulate. So, and one of the important aspect and what, as you rightly said, the intent is to onshore the offshore financial services. So the competition is not with SEBI or with the India structures, it's more competition with the offshore financial centers, right? To get, how do you get that business into India, right? So the most important thing that people see and expect in terms of offshore financial centers is flexibility and the ease of doing business. So sir, things like setting up SPVs, right? So people expect that it should be very easy in terms of operations. So there are several reasons why in the fund management industry you require SPVs, things like taking leverage on a particular asset, or even segregation of liability, or even getting a co-investors. So what is the thought process of IFSCA on that, giving that flexibility within IFSC? Because as you rightly said, it's not competition with India, it's more competition with offshore financial center. I also want you to cover, of course, the government, the finance minister did announce the whole, single window clearance process, being with the purpose of ease of doing business, and which is very critical. And we have heard while we talk to our clients that in addition to single window, the KYC norms in many of the offshore jurisdictions are not easy. So what is the work that, so if you can give some insight more than what I know and the audience know, in terms of work that IFSC is doing on these couple of fronts, in terms of giving flexibility, ease of doing business on single window clearance and KYC.
Okay. So it was a pretty long question. So
Yeah,
I would like to cover, and whatever, if I leave something, then you can again ask. So first of all, I would like to little bit differ with you that there is no competition. We don't want to compete with anybody. Sure. Rather, we want to create an atmosphere for everybody. And then it is up to the investor, up to the entities. If they see value here, they will come. Because we believe in the concept, India being the now doing this presidency of G20, and the theme is one earth, one family, one future. So for us, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam has been the philosophy. So I don't want that something at the cost of somebody else's profit, you should come here. But we do want that why can't, if you can go there, why can't we create a system, ecosystem, as an emphasis has been on ease of doing business. So again, I am quoting SEBI. If SEBI makes some regulations or guidelines, again SEBI keeps in mind investor protection. We have that liberty. We can focus more on development than investor protection presently, because in the first 10 years, we will be in the development phase. So we believe, and we have been doing, and one more thing, whatever we have done, we are very flexible in that sense. We want to listen to the market, and you have been associated with IFSCA, you can, I think, vouch for that we are very open. So, because we don't believe that we know everything. I want to listen to you, I want to listen to you, I want to listen to you. If I see there is a value in your suggestion, and it is doable within the regulatory framework or legal framework, because I can't do anything which is against the constitutional principles, against the FATF requirements. For KYC, you said KYC. We have come out with our integrated KYC guidelines. That is called AML, CFT, and KYC guidelines. What we have done, we have studied SEBI's, we have studied RBI's, PFRDA, IRDAI's guidelines, we have studied all other jurisdictions' guidelines, and we have come out with a single document which gives you the whole, at one place, gives you all requirements we are supposed to follow. If you are coming as a bank, you will have to go. Some are very common, 80% are common, 20% is specific to the banking, you can go, and you have to follow that. So at one place, you will get all the requirements. In that also, wherever possible, like, I will give one example. In Indian PMLA, the requirement is that you have to have your passport, this ration card or voter ID card and all. But for foreign, because we are international jurisdiction, I can't expect an outside person to have an Aadhaar card. So what we have done, national identity card. We have made that. Or any other document which has been issued by the government or government authorized agency. So our guideline says that. So the entity from any country, any jurisdiction can come. Because if you go to our normal bank, they will say, where is your Aadhaar card, for example. So they will not say, if gift IFSC, they will ask for Aadhaar card. They will say, what is your national identity? So whatever is your national identity is acceptable here. So that way we have kept it very clear in that. Similarly, single KYC, Honorable Finance Minister has declared in this budget that single window clearance and single KYC. We have already enabled this. If the idea is like in India, mutual fund, if you go and you go do your KYC with one mutual fund, and you get a letter that your KYC is done. On that basis, you can go and invest in any other mutual fund scheme also. Similarly, we want to do not only why only this mutual fund is capital market. We want to do, if you have done KYC for a banking activity, tomorrow you should be able to do your activity in the capital market also on the basis of the same KYC. So interoperability should be there. So we have already enabled that, and we are very much for that. So any other question left, Tushar?
If you can throw also the light on this whole single window clearance that the government...
Single window clearance is an idea for which we are very much open, and we have, like, one more thing I want to, because in the previous session I have heard somebody was talking about the fintech. Fintech is also one of the very important focus area of IFSC, We have a full-fledged department, and we have not only came out with the framework for the fintech activity, but the incentive scheme also. And Government of India is funding that scheme. So if you have some idea which is beneficial, which could somehow come in the financial activity, so it could be fintech or techfin. Even if it is technology, but it is somehow aiding and assisting the financial activity, that we will handhold, we will grandfather, we will try, we'll give you in the sandbox, we will take you forward. And if you are not able to fund, we will fund you. So that you can, not full, but there are certain, we will reimburse you also. So for that, there is already we have said, and I think 27 fintech entities are already registered. 50 plus applications are pending as on date. We are on that. And we have the interoperability, as I said, across the regulators. So now in fintech activities, with all these 4 sectorial regulators in India, if this IFSCA has a collaborative agreement, and this DE, Department of Economic Affairs, Ministry of Finance, is grandfathering that. So any activities which is of financial nature, if somebody from outside wants to come in India, they can come to IFSCA. IFSCA will examine and refer to the respective regulator. If it is SEBI, then RBI or PFRD or IRDAI. Similarly, if somebody wants to have a global aspiration, want to go out and test its fintech activity, they can come, and we have a collaboration with the MAS, we have a collaboration with the Abu Dhabi agency, Dubai agency, Luxembourg agency. We can recommend to them, and they will, on the basis of our letter, they will take them forward. So that is what our thinking has been.
Thank you, sir. And sir, we are about time. And thank you for sharing that as IFSCA, that your objective is also, in a sense, development. And it's not only about governance. It's so, and as Chairman also said in the past, there's minimum governance and
yes.
like maximum commercial, operability.
Actually, all regulations we have kept in mind, and we keep ourselves reminding that we are only giving the principles.
Yeah.
It is only risk-based approach, and principles we will give, and we will not get into much micromanagement. So let the entities decide their own business activity and what they want to do.
And it's glad to see more than 50 fund managers who already taken the plunge.
59 to be precise, I think.
Yeah, so we'll have started turning on the asset management front.
Yes.
And glad to see that you are ready to kind of engage with the industry in terms of taking this whole dream of the Prime Minister forward in terms of onshoring the offshore. And sir, I just wanted to, as a last question, do you have any message to the audience in terms of what vision that you are driving in terms of the fund management industry, and what can we see in next 3, 4, 5 years?
I think, as I have already said, that the audience here is already accredited audience, so I need not tell. They don't require any financial education or financial literacy program, which we used to do in SEBI. They know, and everybody knows that India, today, whole world is looking at India. India is the spot where nobody can risk to ignore. So if you are looking at India, then I would say, why not in IFSC also? You come to India, but whatever you feel that you cannot do in India, you want to test that product, you are most welcome. And we are giving you, and whatever you want to do little bit away from India, so why not India? Within India, we have created this territory, which is GIFT IFSC, with all best-in-class regulatory environment, hand-holding, grandfathering, and let me tell you, our this track record so far, rather people are sometimes coming to us, Arey, I have just filed the application on Friday, and Monday you have given the registration. So the best has been, I would not name, in 6 hours, we have cleared one application.
Very good.
6 hours, same day. Yeah.
So your development and your approval team is also sitting here, so that's a benchmark you are setting for them. Which
I think Pawan and Pawan, you know that, na? 6 hours. I think Pawan was also part of that team which has cleared that.
So, sir, thank you very much for a candid chat and giving that confidence to the audience in terms of the regulator's approach and how we are looking at kind of making this a success story for India.
Yeah,
And I
so
must say that it's already become a successful.
So before parting, I just want to emphasize again on two issues, that we want to create a predictability in our regulations. So our regulations are not like they are going to change tomorrow. It is very difficult because a lot of process has gone, and we are very conscious that we have to give the predictability to the market. And secondly, we are open to listen to new ideas and we will try to the extent possible to accommodate the concern. Of course, within the legal framework. So as I told, we are for the ease of doing business in each and every aspect. So within that, wherever is possible, and rather not only that, we are hand-holding also. We are not behaving like a regulator, we are behaving more like a developer. So we are telling them, we are helping, like if you go to GIFT IFSC, there is a formality that you have to go to Development Commissioner also of SEJ for establishing your office. Though the government has already announced in the budget announcement that those powers are also coming to IFSC. So I think 3 months, 4 months down the line, you need not go to that. You can come to us directly. We will clear all the applications. So this will be a single window in GIFT IFSC at least. So you need not go to 2 places. Right now you have to go to 2 places. There will be 1 place, and our own officer will be designated as a development commissioner for the purposes of this type of activities. So I see the very, very bright future and very, very good opportunity for any venture capitalist or all the funds. I think whole funds industry, this could be the your laboratory. This could be your opportunity also.
Yeah.
Not only laboratory.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
So I think, of course,
Sir,
we
I
have
will
run out
meet
of
you-
time,
I
but
will
he
meet
is
you
looking
side-
for,
in the side.
yeah.
Okay.
Maybe, Arvind, you want to ask one question
Okay.
that or we can, yeah, we're running out of time. So, sir,
Okay.
thank you very much for your
you.
candid
Thank you.
answer. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.